Hello, beautiful, vibrant souls. I'm so glad that we could come together again today. We are going to pull some cards for the collective, see what messages Spirit has for us. If you are listening to this, maybe there is something within here for you. If you are looking for personal guidance, I would love to hear from you. Feel free to reach out. Oh, this is awesome. We have such a beautiful read here. I cannot impress upon you enough how positive this reading is. Do we see all these beautiful cycles? We see the cycle completion here. So our Queen of Swords, she is the absolute uh, concrete evidence that the work that you have done has paid off. It's not something that is a small feat. This takes a great deal of time to get to where you've gotten. You've put a lot of energy into this. You put a lot of focus, a lot of direction into it. This is where all of the planning that you did pays off. It wasn't these spur of the moment decisions that were being made. These were the things where you said, I have a plan. It's a big plan. It's down the road. There's a lot of things involved, and I want this to come to fruition. I want to see something big for myself. I deserve this. I know that it's going to take me time. This is not immediate gratification. This is something that's going to uh, require a lot of work, a lot of focus, a lot of intention, and I am up to the task. I am capable of this. So we've made some decisions and they've paid off. We have the Four of Wands, indicating that there has been some reward being shown, that you're being acknowledged for some of the work that you've done. You're starting to see some of these things moving forward. You're actually starting to see progress that's been stagnant for some time. In some areas, you're seeing a welcoming into a new phase in life. You're getting acknowledgement from your boss. You're hearing from your partner that they're super proud of you. You feel as though there's a development in your relationship. Your friendships are feeling more rewarding and enriching. This is just an overall feeling of I'm doing it. I'm really doing it, and it's paying off for me in a way that I didn't expect. We also have this Fortune card, the Wheel of Fortune. This is that movement that we've been waiting for. This is that hope. This is that, oh, fine. Finally, a little bit of alleviation of my stress and struggles and frustration. I am seeing things go in the right way. You're going to be hearing some congratulations. You're going to be hearing some I'm proud of you. You're going to be hearing some I I couldn't have done it without you. You're hearing all the accolades that you deserve. People are coming forward to speak on you and tell you all the ways that they're proud of you, that they're inspired by you, that you've made a difference in their lives. You're seeing, and this is not just, we're not just talking about financial success, but for some of you, we're seeing some alleviation of financial struggles. You're finally starting to see you're being welcomed into a new aspect. I'm getting somebody saw your work over here and really decided that they can't go without your work, that you did something that just, yeah, that's the way it needs to be done, and I need that person to do it for me. So you're getting more opportunities. I'm seeing some small businesses picking up some contracts, picking up some collaboration opportunities. I'm seeing some people getting interviewed. You're getting acknowledged for the work that you've done. People want to hear about, they want your story. They want to know how you did it because it's profound, it's important. The cycle has its up and downs, right? It doesn't stay constantly moving. There's times that it slows. There's times that it feels like we're down here. When we're down here, we're learning lessons and we're taking on these challenges because it requires us to get that effort. Really got to dig in our heels and we really got to keep pushing, and then it keeps going and we get on this up and up section. So when this card comes up, this is when we dug our heels in. We didn't give up. We didn't quit. We didn't look away. We didn't walk away from the situation that was taking place. Instead, we said, no, I'm on a roll here. We're going to keep this moving. Let's keep pushing. And it did. It kept moving and it got to where you needed to be. So you're going to start seeing and hearing about the fruits of your labors, the wins, the successes, the things that you've inspired along the way. It was all due to that consistent work that you put in. So keep it up, keep doing what you're doing. You're doing an excellent job, and you're going to know all the ways that you have been rewarded and that you will continue to be rewarded in the coming days. 2 cards we have here today. We have our Freedom card and we have our Seahorse Spirit Watch and Wait. There are times that we have felt that we didn't necessarily have a choice in things, and we had to take a big risk. We had to free ourselves from expectations. We had to free ourselves from the confines of connections or relationships or jobs, and we kind of put ourselves out there in a kind of a vulnerable position. We threw ourselves out there and we was like, you know what, I can't do this anymore. It's not working for me. It's making me miserable. I don't know what's on the other side of things, but I just know that this isn't working. So you did that and you kind of trusted the path, you trusted the spirit, and you felt lighter as a result. Even though you didn't necessarily know what was coming next, you knew it was the right thing for you to do. So you put yourself out there and you've given yourself an opportunity to really explore and experience what potential, what opportunities are out there. You've reached this point where now you're like, I'm not sure what's next. So the Seahorse Spirit is here to tell us that you just need to keep doing what you're doing. There's some situations that are taking place that are kind of behind the scenes. They're not in your clear view. There's conversations being had about you. There are people that are noticing and thinking about how they can use you in their goals and reward you fairly. They want you to be a part of their project, they want you to be a part of their lives. They're still trying to figure out exactly how to do that because they don't want to take away the elements that make you you. When you walked away from that situation, you started to shine in all of your very unique ways. You started to show people who you really were and what you were really capable of. So that's a lot to take in. They're like, "Whoa, I underestimated this person. I have to recalibrate my views. I have to see whether or not this is actually doable. Can I add them into my life? Can I add them into my business idea? Can I bring them into my business? Um, can I include them in my project without taking away? And how do I do this in a way where I don't take the elements of what makes them them? Because I don't want to inhibit this. I want them to feel free. I want them to do the things that make them feel good, because when they feel good and they're doing this, this is when they're shining. This is when they're doing the stuff that inspires me. So we have this Seahorse Spirit to say, these beautiful things take time. They're developing, they're evolving, and we're sitting in the background going, nothing's happening for me. But it is happening for you. In fact, there's things happening that are going to really surprise you because they're far more beautiful and expansive than you could have imagined. They're going to bring you a lot more positive energy, a lot more resources, a lot more abundance than you were expecting. It's gotta grow, it's gotta cook in there for a few minutes longer, a few months longer, a few weeks longer, a few days longer, whatever the case may be. Your message here is to continue being who you are, being authentic, because there's nothing um, that's wrong about the way that you live your life. There's nothing that is shameful about you being your true authentic self. There are just things that take time, and it's difficult to be patient when we want things to happen at a certain rate. That's just not how things work. So, continuing in the ways that you are, being your authentic self, just give things time, and you don't feel like you need to put a timer on these things. Focus on the things that make you happy. Focus on the things that give you joy, because you're going to get that call, you're going to get that email, you're going to get that message, you're going to see that connection make all the changes that you wanted to happen start to really roll out in the real tangible world in a very short period of time. You're headed in the right direction. So this message is a little bit heavier. This is for folks who are dealing with some major changes where they were having to face some pain and frustration and difficulty. They maybe walked away from situations that were no longer right for them and they were unsure if that was the right choice to make. And maybe they're not seeing the type of healing progress that they were hoping for. So we've got our forgiveness card. I acknowledge that harboring resentment blocks the flow of love. If you are feeling frustrated with a relationship that didn't work out, if that person walked away, it was because they were dealing with their own difficulties. It really doesn't benefit them or you to hold any kind of resentment. Well, if they had done this, I wish they would have done this. Why are they taking so long? It's because they're not doing the work. None of that energy is benefiting you or them. Matter of fact, it's actually working in the way that you don't want it to work. It continues to create a space because if you can't accept and forgive them now, then it's not going to be anytime sooner that they're able to work through that blockage and you're able to work through the blockage that caused that separation in the first place. Not only that, in some cases, you resenting that person is inhibiting you from seeing others for the beauty and the love that they offer. We don't want to limit ourselves to all the potential healing opportunities by holding negative energy and holding this resentment and bitterness towards another person. For some of you, I'm feeling that this is about a family member that has caused you a great deal of pain. It doesn't hurt them for you to hate them. They're going to continue being who they are, and unless they choose to come to you on their own terms and make things right, or at least try to make things right, you're not going to see any of that energy benefit you. Instead, you can recognize that they were only capable of acting and treating you from the space that they had gained, the level that they were at. That's all they're capable of. That doesn't mean that's all you deserve. That means that that's all they were capable of. So if we release them from the expectation of being able to be better, it frees you up with the opportunity to release that energy from your body, from your mind, and find the situations and the spaces and the people that you deserve. Our deep cellular healing is this physical and emotional healing. We'll find that holding resentment, holding pain, holding bitterness in our body can actually be detrimental to our own personal wellness. It's a stress and it's a strain. Your blood pressure will be higher. You won't eat the same way. You'll have headaches. You won't sleep well. You'll react negatively to things much more quickly, which is going to in turn add more negative energy, resentment, and pain to your life. It's going to give you more situations that you wish that you hadn't had to experience. It's just leading us down this pathway where we're not feeling any better about the situation. As much as we want to feel closure from these relationships and from these difficult situations, from these places where people have harmed us, where they have caused us deep pain, where we have grief, the healing is responsible only, the healing responsibility lies only with you. You're not going to get closure. Sometimes that message that didn't get a response, that's the closure you need. That's how you know that they're not going to see it. That doesn't mean you don't deserve better. In fact, I highly recommend that in most cases you can make that one effort, and if you make that one effort and you don't get the kind of response that signifies that that person is doing some work, that's how you know that you made the right choice because they're not interested in doing the work. So why would you inhibit your own healing and your own growth for them? Why would you give them that power? That's them continuing to hold that over you. That's them continuing to cause you pain. It's not going to make you feel any better. The one thing that will free you, that will allow you to progress in your healing, is to just simply release them from the expectation of being able to be at your level or to treat you the way you deserve. They just weren't that person. They were there for a lesson and that was it. You learned your lesson. You learned that there's people out there that cause pain. There's people out there that are in so much pain that they themselves cause pain on other people. That's not what you deserve. That's not the kind of life that you're meant to live. So by recognizing that, we're able to just say, I'm glad I'm glad that's not me. I'm glad that I don't live like that I don't feel that way. I wouldn't want to live like that. That sounds like a horrible existence. I would not want to live in the mind and the body of the person that hurt me. I don't want to dig any deeper into that. I don't want to know. It doesn't do me any good. I don't understand it. I never understood why they thought that I deserved to be treated that way. I never understood it. Why would I want to? Why would I want to sink that low and go, oh, well, now it makes sense why I would hurt this person? That doesn't help me. It drags me down to their level instead. Instead, I look at them and I say, I am so grateful that I don't know what it's like to treat somebody that badly. And I will never understand why it would give anyone any kind of feelings at all about that. I would never want to treat somebody like that. I would never want somebody to be hurt from my actions. It does me no good to think about what it would be like to be in that person's mind and body. I'm going to let that go. I'm going to free them from having to explain that to me. I don't want an explanation. I don't think it's going to do anyone any good to know why somebody would do something so terrible. But I do know what it's like to be in my mind and my body and to realize how awful and terrible it is to hurt people like that and to know that I deserved better. And so therefore I release them of needing to do that for me because I don't need to sink any lower than that. That's not something that gives me any relief. It doesn't make me feel any better about the situation. It doesn't give me any validation in why they did what they did. If anything, it would probably make you feel worse. So you don't need that. And when we release them of that expectation, we release ourselves from that trapped position of waiting on somebody to see your value. Instead, you've taken that back into yourself. I know what I deserve. I deserve to be free of that. That was on them. That's not on me. I did not deserve that. Nobody deserves that. It doesn't make sense. There's no logical reason anyone would do something like that. It's actually a terrible thing that anyone would do it. And I don't even want to understand it. I don't need to. It's not doing me any kind of good. There's a lot of difficulty in recognizing that we're never going to get the closure. We're never going to get the apology. We're never going to get that place of, I did you wrong. I treated you terribly. I'm so sorry for the abuse that I did to you. I caused this pain to you. You're never going to get that. And it's not something that you should ever wait for. And there's a sense of freedom that comes when you recognize that that's the burden that they carry. It's not your responsibility to carry it. Your responsibility is freeing yourself from that. Thank you so much for joining with me today. I hope these messages have helped you on your healing journey. They always help me on mine. And thank you so much for joining me. Much love to you.